Very purposefully. Okay, here we go.
Oh,
Dork Court.
What's it?
It's Mark and Steve and Larry plus my kid. That's pretty funny.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. You just bought that, didn't you? I think you shared with me that you just bought that recently.
Yeah,
right?
I'm not sure if I showed anybody that mask, but it's a cool neoprene thing. I got that. Randall Armstrong was talking to some guy who was wearing that cool Disney-only hoodie that was the Thing print, and I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I can't do anything until I have one of those in slightly bigger than my size in case I eat a donut before it gets here.
Oh, I don't like it. Take it off. Take it off.
It works for the Thing.
It's so hot.
So then I got that neoprene mask thing because it was like $7. How do you say no to that? And then this hat because
how do you say no to that hat?
Bald guy has a hat collection, and I've always wanted
a big sweater too.
I've always wanted one of these. Like you guys remember from Astronauts in Trouble, the Channel 7 hats are exactly this, like a light thing with a black visor with a 7 on it instead of a 4. And it's not a circle because that's TV, and it was a square because that's comic book television. But anyway, that's why I did that hat. So I have a hat from my own, plus I gave my tithe to the corporate masters by purchasing this at retail.
They always get their pound of flesh.
Yeah. You were wearing the Thing hoodie zip up last week, and now Walker's wearing the mask. If you guys can just combine.
Yes, the super Skrull, right? Oh, so do you want to jump into this? You guys saw the Captain America Brave New World trailer, right?
No.
No. There's a trailer?
Okay, never mind.
We're talking about CinemaCon? I thought it was just, I just saw videos of people talking about it. I didn't actually see it yet.
Yeah, they released it, I guess, this morning, Friday, because it was Friday. And
really?
Yeah.
It was off like a bootleg thing, because I also saw just a bunch of people were talking about it. It took me a second to find like the actual trailer. Actual.
Well, but we found it right away. How's that work?
Because you were in the bathroom when I found it.
Oh. Wow. Why don't you just go ahead and tell everybody that I aged 7 years for every one of yours? You were in the bathroom, so it seemed like at the end of 2001 where Dave's wearing like a black velvet thing, and then never mind. But the trailer's great, I guess, if you know comics. There's a lot of crazy stuff that you go, holy fuck, Harrison Ford is Thunderbolt Ross, who's the president.
Yeah.
And by the time you get by that, they show Red Hulk, and it looks just like CGI Hulk, except it's red with Harrison Ford's face, kinda. Oh my god. So I'm freaking out, except when we get to the end, Walker and I kind of turn to each other, because I have my sort of opinions. I turn to him to see what his sort of opinion is, and we have literally the exact same energy to the point where we almost say at the exact same time. You remember? It was like, well,
yeah, I was like, you don't even have to say anything. I completely understand. It's a good trailer if you know what's going on.
Yeah, I was like, that's cool, but kind of an ineffective trailer for like the regular person.
Yeah,
they would have no fucking idea like what Julia Louis-Dreyfus is doing there, or why it's super important that you see Bucky. There's just a lot of shit that you need to know. You see why they called it New World Order at first before they realized that was super politically loaded. Because it is. It's like they might as well have called it like, okay, here's the main timeline for post Endgame MCU.
They say in the trailer like, oh, this is bringing on a new world order. So
yeah, I guess my question is, they haven't had like a milestone event in a really long time, or like they haven't had that like consensus Marvel, like everyone come back and see what we're doing.
Yeah,
and they have to and I was saying this yesterday. I think they finally like walked into the room for CinemaCon, like right before Kevin Feige went on stage, and they said, "Okay, time to do what you did before. Let's bring it all. Let's make." I said let's make Marvel cool again. Like, and I think like this is the first step to doing that,
and reassure the theater owners that like, no, Marvel will be a thing again. All these movies that are coming out that no one's seeing, we promise. I mean, I tried to watch Madam Web last night, speaking of, and it was terrible.
I kind of want to see it because I heard the dialogue is so bad that it's like,
it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Is it just like bad dialogue? Like they don't, like the characters aren't talking to each other effectively, or is it just not how people are talk to each other?
It's basic, right? It's screenwriting 101, where it's like some kid was like, I could do this, and you're like, okay, you have all the basic plots happening, but why do I care?
Can I put like a pop culture spin on it? It's not just that. It's a kid who learned how to write screenplays by just listening to George Lucas. Who's like, you'll bring Captain Solo and the Wookiee to me, or some kind of weird ass thing that kind of flows poetically when you say it, but it's weird as shit.
Yeah,
that's right. You can't say.
Yeah, that's what I got from. I just saw the trailers and I was like, Flaming Cross, get away. Like that would just give me like indigestion the whole time. But you kind of get where the dumb constructions came from. Like when they were like, oh, you did this after seeing my dead mother in her nightgown that time by the Dragon's Motel. It's just like stuff that kind of makes sense when you're typing it out real fast because you heard there's a Hollywood strike coming.
Yeah.
But it's not anything that makes sense for anyone to say.
Argyle. Who has seen Argyle?
We just watched it last night.
We have something to say.
I enjoyed it. Go ahead.
Sagsag says, hey, it's good, but it's good, but then there's a whole bunch of that awesome on it as well. My feeling is I get everybody's trepidation of saying in public in 2024 that they unabashedly embraced, this dick-centric fucking big dick energy, power forward Matthew Vaughn world that we live in. But I'm not. That fucking movie was great. I loved it. Back and forth. No notes. Except give me another one.
I have not watched it, but I text Mark. I said, here is what I think it is, and here's what I think happens from the trailer. And Mark was like, the whole movie, you'd figured it out. I was like, yep, I got it. I got the whole movie.
Well, I watched it because you originally said there's a huge plot twist, and I'm like, other than the plot twist that's super obvious from the trailer, and I watched it and I was like, oh, okay. I see.
The only other,
the ending kind of.
It's like, in the Kingsman. It's spoiler alert. It's in the Kingsman universe. He said it. Matt Vaughn said it is. So
there's a scene at the end that takes place in the Kingsman Inn. So you sort of get that.
Got it.
Yeah.
I like
not hearing anything bad.
Okay, so here's my question. If I have 2 hours to kill, am I watching Argyle? Or am I going to see the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare?
Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. Okay, wait.
Okay.
That's not a fair question. It's
okay, but no, I ask because, like, there's only so much time in the day.
Here's if you put your English major hat on. Here's the thing. When you're thinking about, you want to see a good 2-hour movie, just cool action adventure. Competent thing. Would you rather see Guardians of the Galaxy or Guardians of the Galaxy 2? Because that's literally what you're talking about, right? Argyle, Matthew Vaughn is just, wishes he was Guy Ritchie. And Guy Ritchie is just kind of like Matthew Vaughn on steroids. So it's the whole James Bond thing, how Roger Moore got the part. Anecdotally, you guys know this.
Yes.
I think we even talked about
We
this
talked
on
about it on a dork course.
the early
Yeah.
dork court. Yeah,
Yes.
sometimes I wear a black tux and sometimes I wear a white tux.
Yes.
I think that's the difference between literally any Matthew Vaughn film and any Guy Ritchie film.
I mean, anyway. I'll. It'll be one of those things that I'll eventually catch. I mean, I'm watching like. Trust me, my taste. In
I don't
what
think
I'm
you'll like
watching
it.
in the. No, you don't think so?
No.
You know my taste. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm watching Brannigan right now. Have you ever seen Brannigan? Hold on, Larry.
The TV
Larry,
show?
No, the movie, the John Wayne movie.
Oh no, I'm confusing it with something else. Is he he's a detective in that though, right?
And he gets sent over to like it's like John Wayne. He gets sent overseas to like, and like the principal from Animal House is like one of the bad. It's cheesy. It's pretty cheesy, but it's John Wayne. I don't know. Anyway, not good. So again, as I'm saying that I'm not going to watch Argyle, I'm watching a 1975 John Wayne,
Yeah, why not?
detective film. Anyway,
Hey, what's Chuck talking about? I'm bummed we're not going to get the trilogy like it was supposed to be.
Argyle or Kingsman, I wonder.
But Kingsman's had three movies because you
Yeah,
kinda
a
have
prequel.
you have to count the
yeah.
King's Man as a Kingsman movie.
maybe Argyle was expected.
But then it's like
Argyle.
we were supposed to get two more. You know what? Here's the thing I liked about Argyle that's going to be missed by all the people who want to not like it is I think it's friggin' awesome that Bryce Dallas Howard is the main lead, really.
Yeah.
Or the whatever you want to. It's really masterful that even thematic to the movie that it doesn't matter who the lead of the story is, which is really cool. But I don't know. They have her, and there's a thing where she's doing some action in the real world, and she stops and kicks off her high heels.
Yeah,
finds some hiking
nice little
boots.
reference.
But yeah, exactly. It's like this cool reference. It's at the IYKY whatever
If you
level
know, you know,
reference.
kind of.
Yeah, it's at that level of reference. Like if you know, you know. Like it's pretty obvious for somebody who cares like us.
If you have a mom who complains at every movie, go, but she can't do that. She's wearing heels. Out of her feet. She should be tripping every 5 seconds.
But that's what I was leading up to, is that. But for some people, they saw that and pointed at it like Leonardo DiCaprio in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, saying, "Fucking thank God somebody's running from a dinosaur or doing their crazy shit," and they start doing it with the proper footwear. Anyway.
I think financially it did not do very well. So I think there is not a very good chance.
Well, yeah. Oh well.
Budget was 200. The budget was 200 million.
Well, there's some spectacular special effects in there that his style where something grand happens at the end in slow motion in 3D.
Yes, of course.
That's not cheap.
Yeah, that was 80 million.
They blew up an oil tanker.
Oh, yeah. I feel like I've seen I think I've seen the scenes that you're supposed to see. Like I definitely have seen the scenes with like Dua Lipa because I think that was like a big thing because she was blowing. Yeah.
You saw all her scenes if you saw the trailer.
Okay.
Here's what I think about this as a guy who was just kind of, pop culture adjacent for whatever reason on this one. I saw that and I literally thought it was made for Netflix. If that was supposed to
I think we even said that when we texted one another about it when it first came out.
If that was supposed to be a theatrical film, they didn't do their marketing very well. And it's not a theatrical scope movie. I totally got the idea on our big ass TV, Mm-hmm. And everybody's got a big ass TV now because of the coronavirus. So like you're either doing what they used to call mini major films.
For sure. I know what you mean.
Yeah. That's streaming now, right? If you're not at least at that level, like why bother spending $200 million to produce something? That's just shining everybody's shoes twice.
Yeah, it's funny, but I'm always very interested when they say like a movie like Argyle, the budget was like 200 million, and then to think of what the marketing budget would have been for that. Yeah. Because then it's also like
the movie.
Because then like think about like how much the Rebel Moon movie is going to cost to make.
Yeah.
And then knowing that it's like Netflix exclusive and it's all these things, it's like, okay, well, Netflix can put the power of Netflix behind to like promote it from a marketing standpoint, which was always like, I think I said this early on, which is always the brilliance of like Disney buying Marvel, because it's like, yeah, the upfront cost might seem to be outrageous, but when you realize they own all marketing and all ability to promote it at their own, like they own everything. So there's almost no cost to promoting what they need to promote. It's a no-brainer to even let their budget skyrocket to like 400, 500 million, because they own every place it's going to be, marketed and advertised. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really know anything about the global marketing, because I skimmed it when they had the Star Trek Netflix, Star Trek Discovery thing about, we'll pay for your first season if we get global rights nonsense. Then they pulled out, and it was crazy. But apparently those, 4 million digit deals of people screwing each other are just kind of like, well, we'll just ask rape you guys on the next one. It was incredible to me. So what I'm saying is, before the coronavirus, I could keep track of domestic,
oh, sure,
what stuff cost, what their return was, what you figured, what their marketing was. You could kind of, if you paid attention, you could kind of figure it out. You'd be in the ballpark, right? Enough to have a conversation with somebody you weren't embarrassing yourself if they worked in the industry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now there's so much like, well, what did we get on the sub sales to the?
God, the number is so like
times it by digital, right?
I even think like the budgets of these movies are now so inflated and faked. It's like insane. Like I don't know. I have a hard time picturing a lot of these movies, like the Dune Part 2. Okay, I could that budget seems right in my head. I don't know. Like I forget exactly what it was, but it's like you see that movie, you're like, what's the budget they tell you? If they told you like almost $1 billion, you'd be like, yeah, I could see that. I could see it costing that.
They had to film on location, right?
Yeah, I mean, they were traveling to all those different planets. They had to find sandworms. I mean, it's crazy.
Got to fly them in to Arizona.
Yeah, exactly. They're head cases. Anyway,
speaking of Hollywood, you guys had a big Hollywood week, Larry and Walker.
Yeah.
Hey, I was just Alfred to Batman on that one. This is all your story, man.
It was about that time to start looking at colleges, so we went down to LA and toured a few. We went to just walked around ourselves around UCLA. That was pretty cool. And then we went to the first like tour we did was Loyola. And that was pretty cool. We got chicken tenders there at their cafeteria thing. So it was pretty good. They had me sold on their chicken tenders.
Is that like part of the equation? Like
it's
the top,
yeah.
Okay.
Well, you'll see why I'm going to Chapman in a second. Okay. So
well, why that's your number one choice?
Number one choice, right?
Number one choice. Yeah, sorry. That's why it's my number one choice.
Just want to keep those expectations.
No, of course.
Those tendies, though, get back to the tendies.
The tendies.
You were hilarious.
They were amazing. They weren't too dry, but they weren't like too they were really good. Anyway, so we took the walking tour of that, we took a tour of that, and that was really cool because we got to see like all of this stuff. It was a really nice campus. It was just looked like there were just like buildings and stuff everywhere. But I guess it's kind of what college is. And then after that, we went to we had to leave early from that to go and hang out at Marvel Studios.
As one does.
As one does. That was really cool. And then the next day, then we went to the wrong hotel.
Oh my God, you gonna tell this one?
We went.
Attention, Mrs. and Mommy Dorcourt, please do not listen to the next bit.
We were going to tour CSU Northridge 2 days from the day that I'm the story I'm telling takes place.
Wait a second, man. Did you just blow by Pana and Marvel Studios and all that stuff?
He did. He skipped it over like
Yeah, we went to Marvel Studios.
I saw
we went to the
pictures,
hotel.
but yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Well, that was okay.
How many kids do you think just walked on the Disney lot even though your security badge said Walker Rosenheim, that's always a killer.
That's very fun. I felt like I could commit a bunch of crimes because I'm like, oh, they're gonna get Walker Rosenheim. I don't know who that guy is.
Right.
Yeah, go on his permanent record.
Right. Me? No, I'm Walker Young.
Anyway, one of our buddies.
Hold on. I missed the chicken tenders part. Where'd the I only heard. Okay.
Wait. The chicken tendies is all part of it, right? Because it's where you get the tendies. Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles is in on this, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you gonna? There's a theme. But let me just quickly give a shout out to our pal. Check out this Dork Court related thing. You guys remember that book I did, Proof of Concept, that had the Larry Young action figure with other action figures around representing things in it. That was the cover was a professionally done in a professional photography studio by a professional photographer named Jeff Warren, who was our old family buddy from Meme's friend Betsy that they worked in digital finance like forever ago, right? And so we've been friends forever. One of the funniest times I've ever had in my life was that opening day for Mission to Mars with those two. And, so we're pals. They have 2 kids. We have a kid. Everybody grows up. Everybody has some laughs. Their oldest kid, Pana, in the fullness of time, becomes a production assistant at Criminal Minds and is just weaving her way through Hollywood. And I'm not kidding. In 20 years, she's going to be head of a studio. You can, everybody can tell just now when talking to her. And so anyway, she was gracious enough, at the beginning of her career, to be like, hey, we got these people that are coming to look at my school that I just graduated from. Can I show them around? And she did, and it was awesome. She had half an hour coffee and talked to us for an hour and a half. So I hope she didn't get in trouble, but that was awesome.
That's super cool.
Okay, now back to Walker, the guy who lived through all of that. I was just being a proud dad there for a second of both her and for the Warren family. Their kids growing up good too.
Also, Walker, I'm not to cut you off, but I'm noticing over your dad's shoulder that the 3D printer is rocking and rolling.
Yes.
So I hope it is, unless something's climbing on something. Yes. All right, we're good. Okay. I thought I was losing my mind, which is also very possible. So
printing some helmets for a possible Dork Court article.
Oh, very cool. Okay.
No, it's a definite article. Definite. Tell what it is. It's cool.
We when we were watching the What If new season, I saw they had the cool Nova helmets, then cool Nova Core helmets, and I was like, oh, I need to make one of those. So went over to my trusted website Do3D, and they had the exact helmet I wanted. So I was like, oh, cool. So I was gonna make one and just be like, oh, that's cool. But then Daddy was like, oh, I need one. So we're gonna
man, you can't have a Nova Core with just one Nova jackass standing around. It's Nova Core.
But so
fat old guy and cool rugged muscle guy.
So we're gonna be doing an article about how making helmets differ, because I make helmets completely differently than how Daddy makes helmets. He puts on 11 layers of spray primer and then sand it. And I just put on a coat of Liquitex.
I treat the surface nicely.
Yeah, yours
You're
costs
like, oh, here, have some corn syrup.
Which
no. It's no, it's that was like
Ooh,
the
that's close.
who is
that
that
one.
guy?
Huh.
That's the guy that's like the comic book guy with like the big gold one and the red thing. No, these are the they're on
Yeah, it's more
deal.
like that one,
Got it.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Hmm.
on it's
Anyway,
yeah.
but the cool thing, Walker's gonna do his with his skills.
his skills, you're going to
And
do
I'm gonna
yours.
do mine with my
Like it.
skills, and we're gonna see like how it
Nice.
comes out.
Oh, that's awesome.
And both,
Yeah.
and so the cool thing is, both of us are gonna be happy with our helmets no matter what, right?
Yeah.
True.
So, and I'm gonna like
Huh.
his anyway because he knows what he's doing. Oh man, we got to do a whole story about those. There it is.
Oh, that was
that's
on
awesome.
the second page. That's even cooler. Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
Oh, that
So-
looks like. that looks
Yeah,
like
we got to
something
figure
else.
out, is the visor thing that we used for Mandalorian, is that gonna work?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
They
Never
have
mind.
clearer ones, but they all use welding. Just put welding things in.
Does it? It doesn't have spots for magnets, does it?
The
I'll s-
magnets come up around the back, so like right here.
But it, so it does.
Yeah,
Oh.
like right there.
Sploosh. This is the one thing about 3D that really makes my like, snotty old
Turns your
man
butter.
Ananagues are best. The one thing I get so jealous of is like once you get the thing all sanded and you kind of figure out, you can pretend you did that yourself with balsa wood and car body putty. But there's just something about when you go click and it sticks with magnets, you just go, hey man, the future, that's really where it's at, because you couldn't do that in the old days. Nobody had that thought. Why would you ever have that thought? That's just too much sense.
Just glue me in, buddy. Just glue it in.
Right, exactly. That's not even funny. I baked myself almost in unconsciousness one
Uh-huh.
junior year.
Okay.
I put aluminum foil off my head like it was a mask, not realizing my body heat's reflecting all in there, and I just kind of like started baking my proteins, and I was like,
Yeah.
hey,
Like,
I gotta sit down, man.
Yeah. I don't
Take
mean to
it,
be
take it
laughing.
off. There's like a quart of sweat that comes out. Anyway, yeah.
Okay. Loose threads. I have just breezing past the Marvel Studios.
Yep.
I got
Mark.
the wrong hotel. Let's go. Okay.
Chicken tenders.
So we went. So the wrong hotel. We were going to tour CSU Northridge, but so we were gonna tour that like on like Tuesday. So on Monday we were gonna go to Chapman, and on Tuesday we were gonna go to CSU Northridge. So Sunday we go and we're doing all the Loyola, UCLA, Marvel. We're doing all that stuff, and then we're like, okay, we're gonna go drive up to Anaheim, which is like where we were staying at a hotel like right next to Chapman. So we sit in a car. We're hanging out. I take a nap. I was taking a lot of naps. The heat just makes me go to sleep. So I'm gonna have to work into my schedule siestas. But so we get there and we're like, oh, this is a cool place. And like, it was just kind of like weird. We were all kind of weird, just like not really knowing stuff. I felt all kind of off. So we get in there, like our key card, like one of our key cards just wasn't working. So we were like, okay, that's interesting. Like we get there, we check in and they're like, oh, this was scheduled for tomorrow night. And we're like, oh, that's interesting. Like, can we just move that to tonight? And they were like, yeah, sure. So then we get into our room, we put up our stuff, and then mom was like, oh, this doesn't look right. We're in the wrong hotel. So we went to the hotel that we were supposed to stay in on Tuesday.
Yeah, something. It was the other one.
It was the wrong hotel.
Yeah.
So we were like, oh, and then we just packed the car and drove an hour
to the
the
other
right.
one.
Yeah, to
Got
the other.
Huh. Okay.
Because our thing was like, we were just like, well, do we just want to stay here and then like go in the morning. And then we're like, no, it's our tour is at like 8:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
It's an hour drive, so we'd have to wake up at like 5 o'clock. So we're like, no, let's just go to the other one. So then we go, we check out. We're like, oh, sorry, and we check out, and then
Your mother was much more mortified than that.
Yeah.
We could say for the record.
Yeah.
She was very conciliatory, and they were all very cool.
yeah,
That's a mistake. It happens.
Yeah. I told her I'm pretty sure that's not the first time somebody went, oh, I'm just at 30 miles away from where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
But I don't know the area, right?
100%.
So, yeah. But she was still mortified because, as far as she's concerned, she's got like a 997 average now. And that's, that's just unacceptable.
Yeah.
And we're all like-
Can't bat perfection.
in her defense, that was her in the old days. She's pretty chill now. She did have that thought, but she was like, all right, well, we won't do that again, will we? It was the healing powers of Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles.
yeah. So then we drove over, got to the right spot, and then we just searched around, and then we looked for what to have for dinner. And we were just driving around, and then we saw Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles, and we ate there. It was pretty good.
Yeah, you don't say no to that.
Have you had it before?
I've had chicken and waffles before, but I haven't had Roscoe's before.
Oh, interesting.
So
You have not lived.
during the coronavirus, we would have interesting dinners. We would challenge each other with interesting stuff and make people eat stuff. And Mimi one time went, no, chicken and waffles is the bomb diggity. And he was
apprehensive.
Yeah, I'll go all the way. Yeah,
He's chicken part or the waffle part?
Here, I think it's just the combo.
I was fine with both, but like if you put
together,
that was interesting to me. I was
so
not ready to see that.
So which one did you go to? I did the one in Anaheim. Was that what?
Yeah, the one in Anaheim. They were like it was the last one made or something. I don't know. It was confusing. They're the last something.
Yeah, they were proud of being either the last one that had been constructed.
I think that's what it was.
I think that's what it was. Like they put a pause on expansion, and so they feel like they're the the caboose of the train, and waiting for someone to pass the torch to somebody else. Because I don't know, I that's the worst thing about being a storyteller is like. The second I saw that sign, I'm like off into like, all right, how does that? What has happened to get that sign in my eyes right this second? Because it looks like a really long line, and this guy's got his pants down by his knees, and I don't really want to look at that while he's trying to pay with his Apple Watch. Anyway, I'm sure they had a great night. Other than the old man get off my lawn aspect of the show.
I heard a story about a sequel to a horror movie with an ill-advised 2 placement. I don't know if you could tell that story.
Yeah, so so the next day we get up bright and early, put all the stuff in the car, and we're off to Chapman. So we were at the first of 2 tours that day, which I was not aware of. And did you know that Chapman taught other things other than film? Because I didn't. I thought it was.
Most universities do. Yes.
Well, that was a surprise to me because I thought we had a tour and a backup tour.
Part of that is our problem because the Farringtons, both Farringtons go there.
Oh, okay.
Pana Warren, I just talk about, went there. Whenever we talk about it, we just talk about it as Chapman and not the Dodge Film School, which ended up with some early morning hilarity for you and me.
Yeah. So
we're like, where's this Dodge thing?
Yeah,
and they're like Chapman thing, and
they're like that's just this area over here.
Yeah.
And we're literally in the lobby of where we're supposed to be.
Well, we get there, and
anyway.
We're all because it's the number one prospect school, so we're like we really want to go and we want to get the tour. So we get there at like 7:55, like 35 minutes before our tour is supposed to start. And we get to where they say, and of course, Mom has a meeting. So she's like, oh, hold on, I got to go, blah, blah, blah. And she starts wandering around looking at parrots.
Oh, man. The bitterness.
So I'm
yet
sitting there.
Specific details.
I'm sitting there, and Dad, don't take any offense to this. Daddy's going,
Yeah,
we're
man.
we're in the right spot. This doesn't look like the right spot. And I'm just like, we're so early. It's an hour and a half. It's like a half an hour before anyone shows up. So I'm just like, just sit down. People will come here eventually. And if they don't, we'll figure it out.
Right.
So we're sitting there.
That's what I have you people for.
Yeah.
So we're
Calm
sitting
down,
there.
Larry. And, oh, thank you. And what did I do? I calmed down, didn't I?
Yeah.
We were the rock for that other freakish family that came in.
After I handed you my phone and you read the email. So that was good.
Right.
That was good.
I didn't have the info, man.
Yeah. So then this other family came in and just looked at these two schmoes who looked like they were sleeping there the last night, and they go, "Oh no, we're late." And the dad was like, "No, we are extremely early," because they showed up like 20 minutes before. Losers. So we'd been sitting there for like 15 minutes, and it was just like, you could tell how like the disdain in the dad's was just, "No, we're extremely early." Just looking at us like, "Oh, I'm gonna be the first one here." No, we've been here. So then everyone started coming in, and it was cool. We walked around. We were walking around, and our first part of the tour was we walked down this giant hall with a bunch of movie posters that I had to stop Daddy from stealing every single one. There was like, what'd you say?
Tell the one they led with.
It was a Star Wars, like an original Star Wars poster from 19.
Do the date. You got it.
70.
So original?
Wait. Yeah, original. I don't know. I don't know which one it was.
When's Jaws?
Is it 79?
6.
7, yeah.
And so you know Star Wars is after that. So.
Well, 75.
Okay.
But so 76. So yeah, okay.
Clearly a bad father. We're gonna have to go back and watch Raiders of the Lost Ark, 1981.
But anyway, so some like nice vintage, crazy old posters.
No, this kid JT he was pretty good actually. A little over caffeinated. He started off saying, "Okay, my name today is gonna be JT," and because I'm a word guy, and so's my kid. We both looked at each other like, "What?" His name is going to be JT. Is he in like witness protection? Is he doing a bit? What the
performance art?
And it turned out it was a speech pattern, right? We're going to be taking this turn here up at the corner. That was cool, but it was really funny to start off with that. So because I'm like trying to be chill there instead of going, "Oh my God, this guy's obviously got some mental deficiencies. My kid's not going to get into college. The world is going to end. I might as well just go die." Like my usual Monday.
Yeah.
I went, you know what? Everybody's human. It's the first thing in the morning. Maybe I'm not catching anybody at my best either. Let's go. And he was the best tour guide ever. He was great. Every single thing you wanted to know, he covered already, and any question he answered immediately.
That's awesome.
So like that's what you want, right?
So now that's the tour through the Dodge, like film and media arts. That's that part, right?
It was really cool. They had like this giant theater where you could watch movies, and like they showed like all these like, oh, if you're like a camera director or like producer, if you're doing anything, like this is where you're gonna be spending most of your time. And it was like this like classroom and the studio, like the sound stage. And I was like, "Oh, that's awesome. I want to do that." And then he was like, "Now, if you're a writer," and I was like, "Oh, where am I going to go? It's got to be so much better than all of this." And he's like, "You're just going to be hanging out in this boardroom, just talking." I don't know.
I'm sure.
It's just like this giant oval table with like a projector, and we're just like, looks like I know where I'm going.
Yeah.
You better get used to writing rooms, kid.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, though, it used to be like Glengarry Glen Ross. So when I saw that, I was like, you know, this isn't like, you know, a palatial 21st century kind of scene, but it kind of looks like the Star Trek Next Generation briefing room you'd get from Wish. So, you know, there's tech, you know, kinda on the thing, and there's plugs.
There's a blinky light. There's a blinky
Monitor.
light over there. I see it. Maybe it just
Don't worry.
Microphone from above.
When I get there, I'll put in the gray pipes with caution tape on it.
Okay. All
Magic.
right.
Smart.
So you guys did that. So you did that first tour,
Yeah, we did that in the morning.
and then what was the secondary tour? Was it just for the
It was
other?
just it was the main campus.
Oh,
There-
main camp. Okay, because I know I'm pretty sure Chapman does I mean every school does, but like they have a pretty decent like accounting and all that stuff.
Yeah, they have.
Program
We
and
went
stuff
through
like
like
that. So
we went through like the business building, and like we like saw the science building, and they pointed us at the library.
But Steve's exactly right. We hung out for a while waiting for you on something in front of the accounting and finance building. And I was looking at it from the old rock cutting standpoint, you know, because there's granite trim, but there's this nice bronze plaque. And I was like, wow, you know, academia is just as cutthroat as anything else, because it was like, you know, Bob so-and-so's School of Finance, but then so-and-so's School of Paper Clips, and so-and-so's School of Staples, and the subcategory of fasteners. You know what I mean? There's like 4 guys represented by how much money they put into.
100%. Well,
Yeah.
that's
So
that's traditionally most colleges now. Like I'm sure the Dodge, whoever Dodge is,
Yeah.
right? Like that's somebody.
They said they like even Chapman, it was like a school, and then they were like, "Oh yeah, but this guy just gave us a bunch of money, so he renamed the school Chapman."
Right.
So
The
that's
Mellon School of Accounting.
Yeah,
Mellon, that's right.
yeah, I get that, right?
Business. It's
That was
business.
the
Is it a
level
business?
Oh, I don't know.
back in the old days. That was the level I was at, where it's Atwood Hall. It's named for like a beloved school administrator or the guy with the deepest pockets or something, right?
Right.
I get all that.
Yeah.
But this one had it like broken down like, you know, I don't know, a decision tree. Anyway, I just thought it was great. And I really thought it was cool. We went and walked around the neighborhood, got some barbecue that was fantastic. I saw some cool. Mimi got a Bigfoot puzzle to remind her of the trip. No, we bought 2 cool shirts.
Oh yeah, but what you just blew by?
No, or lobbed it for you. Either
Okay,
way.
lobbed it for you. You know, lobs are a very important part of the game. We were searching, hungry and tired. We were searching, and we found this place. It's called Smoked. It was a barbecue place.
Oh, okay.
Oh my god! I got half a chicken, a side of fries that just had the best seasoning, and like 2 plates of candied bacon.
Oh,
Smoked. SMOQUED.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's
Cool.
no U, I don't think. Right? Or is there?
I don't know.
I thought they used the Q like it was a K, because on the way out they did a cool thing that they sliced out of a different corresponding license plate, the S and the M and the O, to spell it out, and I thought it was just QED, but I guess that's weird. Oh no, there it is. Yeah, smooth.
This looks great.
Oh, dude, it was fantastic. But you know what I liked? The fried pickles.
Oh,
There you go.
I don't get to eat like that a lot, so I ate that a lot.
Yeah, their comfort food looks pretty
Their
decent.
brisket was just on point. I liked their
Tater Keelays.
I forget what level barbecue they had.
This looks good.
They had a barbecue sauce and then one that was made based with a jalapeno, and it was the other one that was really good.
Oh,
that jalapeno one, it's all right. Not my thing. It's obviously a quality thing. I don't mean it like that. It's just not to my particular taste.
yeah.
But their barbecue sauce, I would like bathe in. You know, no, actually, in this crowd, you know, in the abyss where Ed Harris has to breathe that liquid gel that's
Yeah. That's what you would
want that except that barbecue sauce that's oxygenated, so I'm still alive. And I
Well, I was gonna say might be
love
tough to
you,
see,
wife.
tough to
If
see
you like
through. But
barbecue
yes,
sauce, I'm like, yeah, don't mind if I do.
Yeah. Larry, you breathe barbecue sauce for 9 months. Your body will remember.
yeah. Well, I'm looking at their menu, and you actually can't order their barbecue sauce. So interesting. I'll have to figure out. I guess we'll just have to wait till you're there, and then we'll do.
Well,
a
it
visit.
turns out, as the next part of the story, we know some folks down there. Like there's a AIT fan from way back named David Gallo, who's just a good pal. He was like the first like super proponent of true facts. He thought that whole thing was just the cat's ass, and and he and his wife are so cool. Like all over the years, people have given me all kinds of cool stuff for being me, and I really appreciate it. But like, we're not here if Mimi doesn't do her thing. And I was saying that left and right in the old days. And Dave Gallo and his girlfriend, who's now his wife, they gave her this cool, just this fleece blanket. And they were like, hey, keep yourself warm, man, keeping track of this idiot. And man, that was just very nice. Anyway, turns out they went to Chapman and live and work down there.
Oh, that's
and
funny.
just was like, yeah, tell him if he needs laundry or someplace.
Dude, that's great.
To
No, that's
chat.
good. It's good to have at least a non-campus base of operation or a
resource
secret hideout. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
That's like a must-have.
Speaking of secret hideout, we stayed overnight at Safari Inn, where they shot True Romance, and literally across the street.
Oh, that was a picture. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
On Olive Ave is Secret Hideout, that one of the best comic stores in Los Angeles.
Very cool.
Which we didn't have a chance to get into.
No, well,
they could have had Green Arrow #7.
We were pretty tightly scheduled. Hey, I hope that was Mommy who went behind me.
Oh, wait. I didn't see it.
Name.
Yeah. We'll see.
Wait, Green Arrow #7?
I'm in the shed. I'm saying.
Which Green Arrow #7?
What? Oh, the new one. I just haven't.
Got it. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. I was like, it was hard to get. I'm going to be at the comic book store this weekend.
I'm like, just what comic you looking for? Jeez, the internet, man.
It's no Red Hood 52, 51 or 52, which is sucky.
Have you got those yet?
Sucks.
I thought you got those 51 or 52.
The Red Hood.
Yeah, Red Hood.
Oh no, I haven't. But I'm feeling much less enticed because I'm reading they're like continuing the story that got canceled on. It was a story that got canceled, which ended the series. And now, like years later, they're picking it back up. And I see why they canceled it. It sucks. Bring back like Matthew Rosenberg, I think, was writing Red Hood for a while. He did really good.
All right, I'll have to.
Larry, you're freaking me out, buddy.
What's he doing?
Oh,
because he wants to see. There's all kinds of shenanigans going on. I think Mimi's upstairs. I think she's back from her swim. I always like to greet her when she comes home anyway, but like after her dip in 55-degree water, I always like to check and see if her eyes have thawed out yet. And then plus now the 3D printer's going, my little thing's flashing.
Yeah, you got like it's crazy. You got like the whole.
So apparently I was a little twitchy and making Mark nervous. I apologize.
Well, yeah, we gotta get Mimi and Jez together because Jez is going to be doing the Tahoe swim again, and I think Mimi wouldn't mind getting part of that. Man. And this weekend, Jez is getting recertified for lifeguarding.
Oh,
wow, that's awesome.
Why not? Cool kids swimming around.
Yeah, man. No, I'm just the reason I'm uncharacteristically speechless is because I was thinking about. I know. Memes wants to swim Lake Tahoe.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know. Don't tell her. There's a lot of shit going on, man.
I mean, it's really cool because like Jez did it last. Yeah, it's when is it? I think in July too. So.
Oh. All right, I got 3 things I wrote down, unrelated to CPR and lifeguard training and all that stuff. Okay, ready?
Okay.
New Running Man with Edgar Wright directing.
Man.
New Star Trek.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Huh?
And then I know the one that Mark was interested in was the Last Ronin, the new turtle movie.
Yeah, because that was based on a comic, and
Oh.
I think they all die except for Raph.
Correct. That's a spoiler.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
2 more things on that.
Which one?
Wait, 2 more. Star Trek Lower Decks, they announced season 5 is the last one.
No,
And everybody's crying, but like 5 seasons of TV. Come on, everyone. Snap out of
not
it.
a bad episode in the
Yeah.
back.
Plus, you cannot tell me those characters don't show up in live action somewhere.
Totally.
Because it's too perfect. So, and then the other one is the Walker's Smile 2 story.
Oh, so
yeah.
hold on. Yeah. So Smile 2. That's the one that with Naomi Scott in, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, you can tell the story. I know I read the premise of I like Naomi Scott. I think she's very dreamy. But go on.
Yeah, Chuck's right. Monarch season 2.
So what was the deal with the Smile 2?
Okay, so
think it's cool.
on the tour of Dodge, our tour guide was talking like, oh yeah, my friend like was working. He's like an intern for the studio doing Smile 2, and like I can't say anything, but like he named Smile 2.
Wait, though. That Smile itself was a senior thesis. And that thing done was just bought by Paramount. The whole thing was $17 million, and it took in $217 million. So everybody was like, and one of the cool things about Chapman is anything that you generate there is you own it. They don't.
Oh, that's cool. So he made it there.
Take a slice, and they make a big deal of making sure you know that.
Yeah, that's
So
the guy who did the first one is Parker Finn. I don't know if that's
that's the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So then,
but I don't think
here we are.
I don't think he has any association with the second one though.
Well, he's getting that sweet.
Well, he's probably getting that name,
Yeah.
yes.
Executive producer credit.
Yes.
Anyway, so now here we are. Somebody's doing Smile 2, and it's JT's roommate or some friend of his or something. He wouldn't tell us.
He's an intern at the studio there.
Wow,
and he hears like, oh, I'm just gonna do. He was like, oh, my friend who's an intern there named Smile 2. And because, we're all on this self-growth journey of just trying to be nice and stuff. And I'm like, oh, this is school I want to get into. I'm not going to say the asshole comment. Oh, did he put the 2 at the end? Just because, like, my friend named Smile 2. Well, it's a very generic thing, just Smile 2. But it turns out that I guess it was at the front. I don't know.
Yeah, if they announced that, we sort of
like
we have told that story to some people. Yeah.
That's what I was told later by my people.
And how do you pronounce that?
It's supposed to be Smile.
Yeah. Smile.
Maybe it works with a 5.
It's got to be like a little kid saying it. Smile.
I'm sure someone's going to rethink that. Because just look at it. It doesn't even read like that. It reads like it's a rap song movie called 2 Mile, right? It doesn't.
Like that looks a little better.
Eminem was great in that.
5
Mile. No, 2 Mile. That's just starring M.
Yeah.
He could just go up and down the lane. He was so old. After that, business was low felt.
2 Mile. You got to walk before you rap.
I want to see.
Guys, isn't it 8 Mile?
Great day.
Yeah. We can call it a day.
That was great. We'll write up a thing.
The Zoomers have pulled the gong.
No.
Well, next week the Guy Ritchie film comes out, Ungentlemanly Warfare.
I think it comes out this weekend.
Oh, is it this weekend? No, it's next weekend.
You sure?
I wrote it down. 19th. Next week's the 19th, so that's that movie next week. And then the following week is Boy Kills World, but I cannot find it playing anywhere.
Did you guys feel like the coming and going of Frozen Empire was a little abrupt in our lives?
Yes.
Because it was supposed to be a TV show. I tell you this, Larry. That's because it should have been a 1-season TV show.
I didn't really even mean that, like anything specific about it, but just that our attentions were immediately drawn elsewhere. Like
Yeah.
I mean more that it didn't have. Walker and I have been
Lasting.
talking about this quite a bit about writing
Yeah.
for eternity. You know, that like when people are doing stuff or convert, you know, they think all day about it, or conversely make up a perfect thing on the spot. But either way, that's creative lighting hitting, right?
Mhm.
And but so then you get weird stuff like I'm a zit bang, you know, or whatever. But there's nothing like that in modern film. Like I loved Frozen Empire. The only
Yeah.
thing I can quote are references to the old stuff. Like, hey, wasn't it cool when he did the lyrics to the song as real dialogue? You know, it's like, yeah, but there should be a line from the Egon's granddaughter that you just go, you know, lock and loaded in the Zoomer way. Because I couldn't write because I'm an old man. And I'm sure maybe there is something that resonates to somebody, but I'm saying us in this crowd, like Doomsday Plus One, it just didn't seem to stick, you know?
Yeah. Remember that article that came out like 10 years ago about how Avatar had like nothing lasting about it? Like there was nothing
Yeah.
quotable about it. People couldn't really pull a moment from it and like show it off. I kind of feel like since then I'm trying to think of a movie that like had a line that I was like, that's gonna stick with me forever.
I think I know why. I have a theory on why.
Oh no.
And I don't know if this, and I will do it as quick as I possibly can.
I'm so depressed.
No, I have a theory. I think it's because a lot of the directors that have grown up now have to deal with the social media aspect of their viewing audience. Whereas, like, do you think James Cameron gave a fuck if anyone quoted his film? He made a movie he wanted to make, and if you quoted his film after you saw it, that was kind of like or any of them, any of the original directors did stuff like that, where it was like, you know, you talked about it, I moved on to the next movie. Whereas now everyone's just trying to get like something so like, I don't know. I have a feeling it's an age thing. It's like
I actually think it's the opposite.
You think so?
Yeah, I think content's going so fast that nobody has a chance to think about the right word at the right time, you know? I don't know.
But like to your point, like Frozen Empire, like,
yeah,
if you really watch that, if like, I'm not gonna, I probably won't watch it again in the theater, but when I get a copy that I see a torrent of, I'll burn it. You know, I feel like the most memorable lines were still from the original Ghostbusters. Like they didn't even give the good lines to the people in that. Like I feel like Aykroyd had a couple good lines, and Zedmore had a couple good lines, and I don't think Venkman was in it long enough, and I think Annie Potts had some good lines in it too. And then I'm like, all right, did other people have like, and you wouldn't,
I rewatched Rebel Moon today in the background while I was working, and I could tell you everything that happened in that movie, but I can't tell you one line from it.
That's the one where I used to say when Game of Thrones came out that I'd probably like it if they gave everyone ray guns and lightsabers, but I just can't get over that thing unless you're written by John Milius and starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm kind of not down with the swords and sorcery, but that's just me, right?
Well, because you've seen, I think I agree with that logic, because my thought is, well, I've seen the best of this, so unless you're not making something that's topping that, and it maybe I'm going in with that bias already. It's just like this new Highlander that they're going to make with what's his name? Like, I saw the first Highlander. That movie is amazing. Are you trying to now? Tell me right off the bat, are you remaking the movie that I think is pretty spectacular and amazing? Or are you making a different version of that storytelling? And then I'm cool with it. Because you gotta, you know what I mean? Like you gotta, like there's two different things. Like
the Total Recall movie that came out with Colin Farrell. Great movie. The only thing wrong with it is that it's called Total Recall.
I agree.
Yeah, it had nothing to do with audience expectations, right?
Yeah.
That was anti brand awareness, right? You got everybody who gave a shit all wound up, and then there's nothing to do with what they loved about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you. Hey, let's tell Chuck though. Hey man, how you feel? Uh-oh, that didn't sound good. Whoa.
Wait, move your head, move your head.
Something's wobbly over there, man.
No, I think it's good. It looks.
Uh.
It's still moving in the right direction.
It is going to be kind of cool that.
Well, Larry, I see where you're going. Chuck looks like Chuck got out of surgery, so he is going to see Frozen Empire. We all dug it. I liked it a lot. I know Larry liked it a lot. We all liked it a lot. I think the one
I'm
thing
seeing it on Sunday. I'm
Okay.
doing a double feature, Dune and Ghostbusters.
Oh, there you go. Well, I thought Ghostbusters was awesome. As we were watching it, I leaned over to Larry about 50 minutes into it, and I just said, I'm so upset this isn't season 1 of like the Ghostbusters TV show. And that's all I said. Because I felt like every scene in the movie, you could add 15 minutes to it, and or 15 to 20 to 30 minutes, and you have like 8 to 10 episodes.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
I like that idea.
the amount of detail they give you is surface level, and there's so much they can dip in. And I actually think that that's probably why we don't have such great memorable lines, because they didn't give that the writing team to, like, think about the first one. The first Ghostbusters, why it's so memorable is because they do not really dip to their toe too deep in the science, and you just run with it. Whereas this one, they kind of had to explain a little more, and I don't know. Anyway, it's more
Poor
memorable
Chuck.
lines.
We don't want to ruin too much for the young man.
Yeah.
It's great. It was great.
But I found it very entertaining, but that's just sort of the bar now, right? Like, I'm telling you, the coronavirus really messed up my whole philosophy as a pop culture consumer, between having too much time and then people producing too much good stuff. I just kind of lost the whole, like, hey man, I got to talk to Mark and Steve about this next time I see him thing. Or like, around the water cooler, whatever that means to everybody. Or appointment television, where like me and EJ were dueling Lost recaps and stuff, where you had that sort of immediacy that was going on. And it just isn't now, because it's like, here's all 12 fucking Punisher 3s. Watch it when you fucking feel like it. And everybody kind of does, because that's what the expectation is now. I'm telling you, what movie is gonna throw everyone for a loop, and it's gonna change everything. And I actually believe this. I think the Deadpool Wolverine movie is gonna blow things. It's gonna make things weird. I think
Marvel things
weird.
No, I think it is. I think it's just gonna I think there's gonna be like the reality of that's a film that's being made, and I think Ryan Reynolds is savvy enough that there's gonna be this whole other thing going on in social entertainment, TV, media. That's just going to be completely different from it, but it's going to feed into it, and it's going to create a little bit of that, like, oh, you weren't there to see this the first night, like, oh, you missed out on this thing, and I'm telling you,
multiple endings, that appear in different theaters.
Seriously though, I think there's he's
Taylor Swift as Dazzler.
He is so smart in that marketing realm that did you hear
that not happen? First of all,
I think it's going to happen in this movie.
It has to.
Well, didn't it happen in the one movie? Isn't she Dazzler on the record?
Yeah, but that was like a picture they photoshopped on the cover, right? But and of course they don't do that with all her people okaying it and stuff. But so maybe that puts it in her head, they did for the Ultimates with Samuel L. Jackson.
True.
And they put that in your head. Hey, you want to be this guy because he's pretty fucking cool. Yeah.
Anyway,
maybe they do that to the world's coolest girl.
I am and I am trying to find out.
I'd cast her in S.H.I.E.L.D., but forget it. Never mind. Nobody knows.
I just want to know what he makes as the popcorn bucket. That's all I care about.
Oh, it's going to be Deadpool's mouth, just like.
You think it's his mouth? I hope it's his mouth. Because the reference in the article
Yeah,
is the
man.
Dune 2 popcorn bucket.
I just
Yes.
I can't imagine. Here's my philosophy on that.
Huh.
Whatever happens.
Yeah.
Oh, there, Steve even got one. Whatever happens, I think will be ridiculously appropriately inappropriate. I think if any marketing people in the world can split that line from like, because on the one hand, look, it's dildo branded Deadpool, or whatever. That's an easy one, but then there's like, ooh, lollipops are fun. On the other way, nobody cares, right?
Well,
There's gonna be something like Benoit balls that are a plot device in Act 2 or something.
Yeah.
Well, he
He
has
something like that.
He has mastered the partnership collaboration of everything he's ever touched so well that I can only. That's why I said, like, I think like this is. It has to be him, and it has to be this. It's like Marvel is hitting a crescendo at like the perfect storm for that to just like that Deadpool movie is going to. I love that the whole theme of it is what it is. It's just I cannot imagine what those post-credit scenes are because I guarantee you they have not been even talked about yet or filmed. They're still working on them.
Yeah,
you just sort of wonder
that
at the point of I have actually a good idea. The whole thing's Skydance is thinking about buying Paramount, which is really cool. So that made me think of Tom Cruise, which is Tom Cruise as Iron Man. And I'm like, man, it's an easy Mission Impossible thing where the final Tom Cruise thing he will never top is actually being Iron Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Right? Like you have like a part 1 that's in Mission Impossible that pays off in like a part 2 that's in, Captain America 2 or something. Maybe not. I'm still workshopping that. We'll see.
Yeah. A rough draft.
Well, I on the flight to Orlando, I watched that Mission Impossible movie.
Yeah,
that's the best. That's one of the best movies I've ever seen. That's
The
one of
the
the
way
best,
it was intended to be watched on the back of a chair on a plane to
with
Florida.
my daughter on my lap, sweating, throwing up in a little vomit bag, and I was just like, Marlo, I don't care. I'm watching this. This
were like, this Haley Atwell person is really doing it.
And let me tell you something. I as I told you, he is a true movie star. Like as you could, there is no. I honestly, anything that guy makes, I will watch.
Yeah, agreed.
It was, and if that's the last one I got, I'm fine. Like I'm cool. Like, oh, you're gonna leave on the cliffhanger? Okay. It was good.
Like we never know.
Yeah, I don't like. Yeah,
I assume he saves the day.
You know what? I would be fine with that too. As a giant Mission Impossible fan, that's kind of on brand, right?
Yeah.
Because most of the late season ones end on, Phelps going, sometimes it just be like that.
Yeah, he has both keys. It ends with them just kind of like, all right, she's like gonna potentially sign up.
He's got the name of what it is, and you're just like, all right, have fun. Closure. I'm good.
Yeah. What if the next movie starts with them being like, man, that whole that thing was crazy, huh? Anyway, on to the next adventure. And
right, whoa. exactly. Like oh, we found it. We found the sub. Everything's good.
Oh, the entity. Oh yeah, that was
yeah. Anyway,
well, on that note,
hold on, Walker. You saw this, right? You saw the.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on, of course.
Sounds like Mark wants to wind it up. I want to just make an observation. You guys, this is exactly the experience of hanging out with us at San Diego. I realized.
Yeah.
I was like, I really look forward to
9 hours over 5 days.
Just about dumb shit that, except we're all doing it this way. It's super fun. I really appreciate it.
Same. Anyone watching the Fallout TV show, by the way?
I'm going to watch it tonight. Check it out. So.
Yeah, we're in the middle of Manhunt, which is really good. The John Wilkes Booth thing.
Oh, yeah.
But that's, I don't know. Do you think we can? Sometimes we can get mommy to skip in. It's like, come on, we got to do it.
She said, yeah, this morning.
Oh, excellent.
Approved.
I'm interested so I'm a huge. The only reason I ask, and we'll leave it on this, is I've played all the Fallouts. Like I played that on my first PC to all like the most recent ones. So I'm a huge Fallout nut. So I'm very interested with people that maybe aren't as
All
big
my
as
friends
me.
who have played it, they loved it.
Oh, they did. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
But I'm also interested to see what you all think since you're not super familiar with the
Yeah, I only played 2 of them.
mythology of it. So
Yeah.
Anyway, cool, gentlemen.
Until next week.
All right.
Yeah.
We need a door court hand signal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Start playing you off.